Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So within today's video, I do want to speak about whether Xavi Hernandez is still the right manager for FC Barcelona. And then later in the video, we're also going to be talking about who Barcelona is looking at in terms of reinforcing their attack. Are there players that Barcelona is following that could greatly strengthen this squad? Because it is clear, the Barcelona team that we have today, it is good, it is great, it is a progression of whatever we had last season. But if we want to continue to progress and get to the top and to compete against the top teams in the world, of course, we need to strengthen our squad even more. So this is going to be a very interesting video. I'm happy that you guys are all here to tune in. Welcome to this Barcelona family where we do talk about everything regarding FC Barcelona. And if you guys are new here, please subscribe to the channel if you want to support this YouTube channel and also like this video. I would really appreciate it. But now let's go into this topic, right? And let's talk about this whole question about whether Xavi Hernandez is still the right manager for FC Barcelona. Because look, many are saying that Xavi is mediocre and that this is also a coach that does not make the correct signings. Like for example, look at how Rafinha is turning out. Look at how players like Lewandowski is turning out, right? This is not me saying it. This is basically what the public has been saying. It has also been said that Xavi Hernandez does not make the correct renewals. Like why would Xavi Hernandez renew players like Sergio Roberto and Marcos Alonso when many do know they are not good enough? Because look at what Sergio Roberto and Marcos Alonso did against Real Madrid in that 4-0 loss at the Camp Nou. And then lastly, people are also saying that Xavi Hernandez cannot win big games, which is why we continue to come out and get knocked out from multiple competitions. And what really pushed this agenda of Xavi Hernandez being the correct manager of Barcelona, yes or no, was them losing 4-0 at the Camp Nou and against Real Madrid. So there is a lot of anger, a lot of tensions. And it's a very interesting time to question this, right? Because with this whole agenda, there's also other things that are available out there in football. Like for example, Pep Guardiola could be out as the Manchester City coach in 2025. Could Barcelona bring back Pep Guardiola and bring back the old days? There's also the option of bringing Luis Enrique right now, since he's not going to be coaching Chelsea. There's also the option of Nagelsmann maybe also being an option after being fired by Bayern Munich. So it's a very popular thing to say that right now, right? It's a very popular thing to say, Xavi out, let's bring all of these other new managers that is available right now. But let me tell you guys, I doubt that Xavi is going to be leaving anytime soon. And I'm going to be justifying why I am saying this, because I'm not saying this just because you guys think that I'm a Xavi fanboy or something like that. I'm going to justify why I believe this, and it's going to be very clear. Unless Barcelona do bottle everything next season, like for example, we finish 4th in the league and we continue to come out from the group stages, from the Champions League and the Supercopa, or maybe in the Copa del Rey, if we really have a horrible season next season, then that is where I would say, okay, Xavi Hernandez could be out and let's bring another coach in. But if that does not end up happening and we continue to progress, Xavi's only going to continue at this club. Because with Barcelona going to 4th place in La Liga next season and not progressing out from the group stages, that is what you do call not progressing. But if we continue to make further and further improvements season after season, there is no reason for Joan Laporta to say, yes, Xavi should be out. That wouldn't make any sense. Now you could say, but Kevin, look, the same thing happened with Nagelsmann. He was fired out of nowhere and for no reason, and Bayern Munich were doing well. The same thing could happen to Xavi Hernandez, Kevin. Like, what are you talking about? But listen, this is why I'm continuing to say this. This is why we have to see whether a coach is making progress or not with a club and not see it as whether this club is at the top, yes or no. We have to just go based off whether this club is progressing, yes or no. That is how these executives do make decisions, is whether they make progress or not. Nagelsmann at Bayern Munich was fired because he is having a worse season today than what he did last season. Like the fact that Nagelsmann was dropping points in the past 10 games, and at this point of the season, which is very important, that is never a good sign. Like how are you getting worse as the season does go by? It would be understandable if a club were to ever drop points like in the first 2 months and then just continue to get better from there. But if you're dropping points like in April, 2 months before the season is even over, of course the executives of Bayern are going to be alarmed and look at Nagelsmann and saying, you're losing the dressing room, you're losing the locker room presence. And then when we saw Bayern Munich and their players not getting their best performances out there, like Sané, Gnabry, not performing at their very best compared to what they were 2 years ago before Nagelsmann or during Nagelsmann's first year, of course Bayern are going to be saying, this man is losing it. Nagelsmann is losing the fire with Bayern, and we can't continue to decrease our level game by game. We have to fire Nagelsmann at some point. Last season, right, in Nagelsmann's first season, he had all of this in check. He was winning all of the points. He won the Bundesliga. He got the best from many players. He had the locker room presence and he controlled the locker room also. So because there was no progress, that is the reason why Bayern said, let's fire Nagelsmann now. With Xavi, everything is different. With Xavi, everything is improving. We're improving in the league by being 12 points ahead of Real Madrid. These players are individually improving. Like Alejandro Balde has been playing better than ever. Frenkie de Jong has been playing better than ever. Koundé, Araujo, even Jordi Alba, they have all been playing better than ever. These are signs that this is a coach that can get the best out of their own players. And then we also won the Super Cups. something that we did not do last season. So there is improvements from this Barcelona squad. You see how I do say that we have to see it as coming from the point of view of whether this team is progressing, yes or no, not by saying, is this club at the top of the world, yes or no. So what Barcelona has been doing in the past 5 months is the reason why Xavi will continue at this club, even though Barcelona are not at the top of the world yet, but we will be there. This is why also Xavi Hernandez in the dressing room continues to say, this is the way, this is the path. And the players also do see eye to eye with him, because you can see that the players are seeing the overall results, so they trust him. And that is why Xavi Hernandez also has a big presence in the locker room and why the players do listen to him. With Nagelsmann, it was completely different. They were losing faith in this coach because things were not turning out well for them, like being second in the league. So in terms of progression, right, I'm only talking about in terms of progression, not level. Those are two different things. Nagelsmann is not doing what Xavi Hernandez is doing at Barcelona. So it's completely different cases. So now this is going to lead us towards the next phase, right? What is going to be the answer for Xavi? How can Xavi continue to have a even better season and we just continue to progress, which is the main theme. I know I said progression like and progress like 15 times in this video, but I want this to be the main theme of the video. I want you guys to really understand this so you guys are not so alarmed or frustrated or stressed out. And I think that the answer is going to be this: we need to have a stronger bench. Like, can you and me agree on this? We must have a stronger bench. Like, the players that Barcelona have to rely on after the A players are out from the squad, whether it's like, for example, they get injured or they're just out of form or whatever does happen, right? Like, these B players, the B list on the bench, they're not good enough. Now, I give props to Xavi for working so well with his A players and becoming like one of the best teams in the world, but we cannot always count on our A players because, again, injuries do happen, or an out of form player ends up coming in. Now, it's crazy because I no longer want to say that the reason why Barcelona struggles because of our bench, because it does seem like an excuse, but it's a very valid reason. But even though it's a valid reason, I don't want to give out these reasons anymore. I just want to continue to go into the next round no matter what. This can no longer be a problem going into next season, which is why I do believe that Joan Laporta, Matteo Lemon, and Xavi Hernandez will be addressing all of this. Like, why do you think Manchester City still dismantled Liverpool, even without Erling Haaland, even without Phil Foden, even without Cancelo, who went to Bayern Munich and was supposed to be supposedly the best left back in the world at Man City? Why do you think Man City continued to bring results even without multiple big time players? That is because their bench is immense. Their squad is even more immense. And Barcelona have to go through the exact same way. And so here are going to be some interesting stats regarding Barcelona and how many players they missed during matches where they could be eliminated or not. So it says here that in the Champions League against Inter Milan, they lost Araujo, Koundé, and Christensen. When Barcelona had to play in the Europa League against Manchester United in a knockout round, they lost Xavi, Pedri, and Dembélé. In the Copa del Rey against Real Madrid, which did happen 2 days ago, they lost Christensen, Frankie, Pedri, and Dembélé. So they lost players like Dembélé twice. They lost players like Pedri twice. We lost our whole backline against Inter Milan 6 months ago, which was super alarming. So it was a huge blow for Xavi, and it's like, I would say, very unlucky. It's very unlucky and very unfortunate for this coach, because I felt like if we had all of these players at the correct times, we probably would have had much better results. But again, we can't continue to say we got to have these players at the correct times, because that's something that you just cannot control. But what can you control? You can control having a better bench. So now we're going to slightly move forward into a different topic and talk about this summer of 2023. What could we see Barcelona do in order for them to become stronger? So we could see Barcelona, like it has been said in the past few months, that they're going to be selling a big attacker. It could be Rafinha, it could be Ansu, it could be Ferran Torres, who knows? Could it be Lewandowski? I have no idea what Barcelona is planning. We could also definitely see a veteran leave this summer. It could be Jordi Alba, it could be Marcos Alonso, it could be Sergio Roberto, it could be Sergio Busquets. Keep in mind, many are going to be saying, but Kevin, Xavi Hernandez just renewed players like Sergio Roberto and Marcos Alonso, like they're not going to be leaving. Let me tell you guys something. All of this is a economic tactic, not a sporting tactic, but a economic tactic. I do believe that one of the reasons why they renewed Sergio Roberto and Marcos Alonso is because they want to sell these players potentially in the summer at a very good price. You guys have to understand that when a player has more years in their contract, the more that player is going to cost. So if Marcos Alonso has 1 year left in his contract, maybe a club is going to be able to buy him for around 6 million euros. But if that player had 3 years left in his contract or 2 years left in his contract, maybe he could cost 10 million euros. Because again, if they have more years in their contract left after a club wants to buy them, they're going to be at a much higher value. So we could see any of these players leave. We could even see Sergio Busquets renew in June and then being sold in August for a better price. But overall, the goal is to reduce the wage bill. And it does say here, and this is just in, according to Tony Juan Marti, that Barcelona are very clear. They need to reinforce the attack in the summer. Players like Messi, Vitor, Roque, and Carrasco are all very serious options. And the return of Abde is also a big possibility. So there's a lot of emphasis going on strengthening the left wing position. For example, like you see Carrasco and Abde as being options. And overall, you can also see that Xavi Hernandez wants to have 2 to 3 very strong players in every position. So maybe next season, it could look something like this. Abde, Carrasco, and Ansu Fati as left wing options. And then when it comes to our striker position, our 2 options could be Lewandowski and Vitor. And then our right wing option being Rafinha, Dembele, Messi. And I don't want to hear anything about, no, Kevin, that's too many good players in one position. No, like we already just talked about, we had a whole video just right now talking about how we need quality depth. We need Messi, Dembele, Rafinha as right wing options. We need Abde, Carrasco, Ansu Fati as left wing options. We need Vitor, Roque, Lewandowski, maybe even Aubameyang as striker options. Things like this do need to happen, and expect our squad to look something like this next season. And of course, you're going to be having players like Gundogan also potentially coming in, being a great reinforcement to players like Pedri or Frankie or Xavi if they ever do get injured. So I hope this video does help you guys out in terms of where Barcelona is positioned at and why we should still feel very comfortable as we progress through the season and through the summer, and where we are in terms of our transfer market, who we could be selling and who we could bring in. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.